Right now, as you watch this, your muscles may be shrinking, and you won't feel it until it's too late. After 70, most people lose strength so fast they can't get out of a chair without help within a few years. But here's the breakthrough. Scientists have discovered a single cup of a simple everyday drink that can boost senior muscle power by nearly 40% in weeks. I've seen it turn my patients from fearing falls to walking taller, steadier, and stronger than they have in years. I'm Dr. Howard Tucker, and if you're over 60, what I'm about to show you could change the way you age forever. When we talk about aging, most people focus on wrinkles, gray hair, or slower memory. But the real aging clock is hidden in your muscles. Once you pass 60, your muscle tissue begins to disappear at a rate that shocks most people, up to 1% every month if you're inactive. That's not just size you're losing, it's power. And muscle power, your ability to move quickly, climb stairs, or catch yourself if you trip, is the single greatest predictor of whether you'll stay independent or need help with daily life. Here's the part that scares me as a longevity doctor. Most seniors don't notice this loss until it's advanced. Your body adapts quietly at first. You start choosing the elevator instead of stairs. You push yourself out of a chair with your arms instead of standing with just your legs. You hold on to railings without thinking about it. But by the time these changes are obvious, you've already lost a significant amount of muscle tissue, and getting it back takes deliberate action. That's why the research on this one cup is so important. It doesn't just slow the decline, it can actually reverse it. In a landmark study from McMaster University, older adults who added this specific drink to their daily routine gained measurable muscle power up to 40% more compared to a control group, and they did it without intense gym workouts or complicated diets. So why does it work so well? It comes down to a process called muscle protein synthesis. Think of your muscles like a house that's constantly under renovation. Old bricks are being removed and new ones are being laid. As we age, the workers laying the bricks slow down, even if we're giving them the same amount of material. This is called anabolic resistance. Your muscles simply don't respond to protein the way they used to. The solution isn't just eat more protein. It's to give your muscles the exact type of protein in the exact form that bypasses this resistance and floods them with the building blocks they can use immediately. That's what makes this drink so remarkable. It contains the perfect ratio of essential amino acids, especially leucine, the amino acid that acts as the on switch for muscle growth in aging bodies, and it's absorbed into your bloodstream in under an hour, hitting your muscles while they're still primed to grow. That's why patients who take it after even light activity, like gardening or a short walk, see results faster. But before I reveal what it is and exactly how to use it, I need you to understand something. Muscle loss isn't just about getting weaker. It affects your balance, your reaction time, your metabolism, even your brain health. The same muscles that help you stand up from a chair are the ones that keep blood flowing steadily to your brain. Protecting them protects far more than your strength. It protects your life. And that's why this simple cup of protein is more than just a drink. For many of my patients, it's the turning point between decline and comeback. And the one cup I'm talking about is whey protein, but not the kind you see in dusty tubs in the corner of a gym. I'm talking about a high-quality whey protein isolate or concentrate that's clinically proven to work differently in seniors than almost any other protein source. You see, when you're 30, you can eat a steak, a couple of eggs, or a bowl of beans, and your muscles will respond hours later. At 70 degrees, that window of opportunity slams shut much faster. Your muscles need a rapid, concentrated surge of amino acids, especially leucine, to flip the muscle-building switch before it turns off again. This is where whey protein stands apart. Whey doesn't just contain protein, it delivers it in the exact form your muscles can use immediately. In fact, A single serving can give you 2.5 grams of leucine, and when you pair it with just a small handful of nuts or seeds, you hit the 3-gram trigger point scientists say is essential for muscle growth after 70. Eggs? You'd need to eat 5 to get the same leucine hit, and by then, your muscles have already missed their prime building window. But whey's magic isn't just in its speed. It contains bioactive compounds like immunoglobulins and glycomacropeptides that actively improve how your gut absorbs protein. Why does that matter? Because many seniors, even those who eat enough protein, aren't actually absorbing and using it due to low stomach acid, gut inflammation, or nutrient deficiencies. Whey solves that problem by arriving almost pre-digested, ready to cross into your bloodstream in under 60 minutes. And here's something remarkable. When older adults add whey to their routine, it doesn't just build new muscle. It makes every other protein they eat for the rest of the day more effective. That's because it improves muscle protein sensitivity, essentially training your body to respond more like it did when you were decades younger. I've had patients tell me, "Doc, I can actually feel the difference in my legs within a week," and they're not imagining it. In controlled studies, seniors who drank 1 cup of whey after light activity saw measurable improvements in leg press power, grip strength, and walking speed in just 4 weeks. By 8 weeks, many were performing everyday tasks, like climbing stairs or standing from a low chair, faster and with more control than they had in years. The best part? It's versatile. You can mix it with water, milk, or a plant-based alternative. You can blend it into a smoothie with berries and cinnamon for an antioxidant boost, or stir it into Greek yogurt for a double hit of protein and probiotics. And if you time it right, within 2 hours of movement, you're hitting the muscle-building sweet spot every single day. But whey protein is only as good as how you use it. And there are 3 specific ways to time and combine it that can dramatically amplify its effects. Ways most people have never heard of, but that can mean the difference between slow progress and truly life-changing results. If you just scoop whey protein into a glass at random times during the day, you'll see some benefit, but you'll miss its full, life-changing potential. For seniors, when you take it and what you combine it with matter just as much as the whey itself. Muscle protein synthesis isn't something that stays switched on all day. It surges after you eat protein and then fades, even if there are still amino acids circulating in your blood. For older adults, that surge is shorter and weaker than it was at 30, which is why you need to time your whey intake so it lands during your muscle's most receptive window. The most powerful time to drink whey protein is within 2 hours of movement. That movement doesn't have to be a heavy gym workout. It can be gardening, walking, stretching, or even carrying groceries. These activities increase blood flow to your muscles by as much as 40% and make the protein receptors on your muscle cells more active. Think of it as opening a window, and whey protein is what climbs through before it shuts again. To trigger real muscle growth after 70, you need to hit what scientists call the leucine threshold. That's about 3 grams of leucine in one sitting. 1 serving of high-quality whey gets you close, and pairing it with a small handful of seeds or nuts easily takes you over the line. That combination also delivers healthy fats that help reduce the low-grade inflammation that accelerates muscle loss. You can make whey work even harder for you by pairing it with foods that protect and deliver its amino acids more effectively. Blending it with berries adds anthocyanins that help preserve the amino acids during digestion and speed muscle recovery. Adding Salmon cinnamon improves insulin sensitivity, which means more of those amino acids end up in your muscle fibers instead of being stored as fat. Stirring it into Greek yogurt gives you not only extra protein, but also probiotics that support gut health and help your body absorb more nutrients, critical for seniors whose digestion often isn't as efficient as it once was. One important tip is to protect whey's delicate structure. Always mix it with cold or room temperature liquids, because high heat can damage some of its most valuable immune and anti-inflammatory compounds. The real magic comes from consistency. Having 1 cup every day in the same time window after movement sends a steady, predictable signal to your muscles. Grow, repair, and strengthen. Over time, this repeated signal retrains your body to respond to protein more like it did decades ago. I've had patients follow this routine, and within weeks, they notice their legs feel steadier. They stand up from low chairs without pushing off the armrests. They step off curbs without hesitation. This isn't just strength, it's the return of freedom and confidence in their movements. And while whey protein is an incredibly effective tool, it's not the only one. There's another protein that works slowly and steadily while you sleep, feeding your muscles for up to 8 hours and protecting them from the overnight breakdown that robs seniors of strength. While whey protein works fast and delivers results in the first hour after you drink it, your muscles still face a silent enemy every single night: overnight catabolism. This is when your body, short on incoming fuel, starts breaking down its own muscle tissue for energy while you sleep. For younger people, the damage is minimal, but for seniors, the losses can be significant enough that by morning you've lost muscle you will never fully get back unless you actively protect it. That's where the overnight muscle shield comes in. Casein protein, and the easiest, most affordable way to get it is from cottage cheese. Unlike whey, which floods your bloodstream quickly, casein forms a slow-digesting gel in your stomach. It releases amino acids drop by drop for up to 8 hours, giving your muscles a steady supply of building blocks all night long. This slow drip of amino acids doesn't just prevent breakdown, it keeps your body in a muscle-building state while you sleep. In a study from Maastricht University in the Netherlands, older adults who had a serving of casein protein before bed maintained a higher rate of muscle protein synthesis throughout the night compared to those who didn't. By morning, their muscles were in a better state than when they went to bed. Cottage cheese does more than just feed your muscles. It's one of the richest dietary sources of selenium, a mineral that over 60% of seniors are deficient in. Low selenium levels are directly linked to muscle weakness, and restoring them can improve strength in just weeks. It's also packed with calcium, which doesn't just build bones, it plays a vital role in muscle contraction. Without enough calcium, your muscles can't generate force effectively, no matter how big they are. There's also the vitamin B12 factor. Around 40% of adults over 60 are deficient in B12, and without it, your body can't properly use protein to build muscle. Cottage cheese provides a significant amount in every serving. Add in phosphorus for energy production inside muscle cells, and you have a nighttime food that supports muscle health on multiple levels. It's also incredibly practical. It requires no cooking, no chewing for those with dental issues, and it's easy to digest even for people with lower stomach acid. If you're watching your sodium, rinsing it under water for a few seconds can remove up to 40% of the salt without losing much protein. For flavor and extra muscle-friendly nutrients, you can mix it with ground flax for omega-3s, chopped walnuts for arginine, or even a dash of vanilla extract and a drizzle of raw honey for a dessert-like treat that's secretly a muscle-building powerhouse. Patients who make cottage cheese their pre-bed ritual often tell me the same thing. They wake up feeling less stiff, more energized, and surprisingly stronger. That's not just in their heads. That's the result of giving their bodies what they need to protect and build muscle during the 8 hours when most people are unknowingly losing it. And while this overnight protein is incredibly effective, there's another food, something from the sea, that doesn't just feed your muscles. It actually makes them biologically younger from the inside out. When we think of protein for muscle health, chicken or eggs often come to mind first. But salmon belongs in a completely different category, not just because of its protein content, but because of the way it actively renews aging muscle from the inside out. This isn't just about feeding your muscles. It's about changing their biology so they act and respond more like they did when you were decades younger. Salmon's secret weapon is its combination of high-quality, complete protein, and omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. These omega-3s do something remarkable for older adults. They make your muscle cells more sensitive to the signals that tell them to grow. Remember how I mentioned anabolic resistance? The way your muscles stop responding to protein as you age? Omega-3s help reverse that resistance. They change the structure of your muscle cell membranes, making it easier for leucine and other amino acids to enter and trigger muscle protein synthesis. In one study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, seniors who supplemented with omega-3s built more muscle from the same amount of protein and exercise than those who didn't. This means that when you pair salmon with whey or other high-quality proteins, you amplify the results. It's like flipping on the light in a dark room and suddenly allowing all that protein to do its job. Salmon also has a unique anti-inflammatory effect. Low-grade inflammation is one of the silent muscle killers in older adults. It breaks down muscle tissue faster than you can replace it, and it also interferes with the hormonal signals that regulate muscle growth. The EPA and DHA in salmon actively reduce these inflammatory pathways, giving your muscles a cleaner, healthier environment in which to grow and repair. There's another nutrient in salmon that often gets overlooked: astaxanthin. It's the pigment that gives salmon its pinkish color, and it's one of the most powerful antioxidants found in nature. Astaxanthin has been shown to reduce oxidative stress in muscle cells, protecting them from the microscopic damage caused by daily movement and exercise. The result is faster recovery, less soreness, and a greater ability to train or stay active without setbacks. Salmon is also rich in vitamin D, a nutrient that over half of all seniors are deficient in. Vitamin D isn't just about bone health. It plays a vital role in muscle contraction, coordination, and power. Low levels are linked to muscle weakness and a higher risk of falls. When you combine vitamin D with salmon's protein and omega-3s, you get a multi-pronged muscle support system that's hard to match. Eating salmon just twice a week can make a noticeable difference. I've seen patients who were struggling to regain leg strength after an injury start to climb stairs more easily and walk longer distances without fatigue, simply by adding salmon dinners to their weekly routine. Whether it's grilled, baked, or poached, the goal is to keep preparation simple and avoid overcooking, so the delicate omega-3s remain intact. And while salmon delivers long-term muscle health benefits, there's another ocean-sourced food, one far less famous, that's so rich in bioavailable minerals and rare muscle protective compounds, it can help strengthen not just your muscles, but also the bones and joints that support them. When people think about foods from the ocean that build strength, they often picture fish, shellfish, or seaweed salads. But there's one particular marine food, quietly used in coastal communities for centuries, that modern science is now recognizing as a true powerhouse for seniors. It's not just a source of protein. It's a mineral-rich superfood that strengthens muscles, hardens bones, and supports the joints that keep you moving with ease. I'm talking about red algae. Red algae is unlike most other sea vegetables. Its deep reddish-purple color comes from unique pigments that act as antioxidants, protecting your cells from the kind of microscopic damage that accelerates aging. But the real magic lies in its mineral content. Gram for gram, red algae delivers more bioavailable calcium than milk, plus generous amounts of magnesium, potassium, and trace minerals like manganese and boron. These aren't just bone minerals. They're crucial for muscle contraction, relaxation, and coordination. Without them, your muscles can't fire efficiently, and your joints lose the stability they need to support your movements. In older adults, this combination of minerals can be a game changer. A long-term observational study from the University of Oviedo in Spain found that seniors who regularly consumed red algae had better balance, higher grip strength, and greater bone density compared to those who didn't. That's because the minerals in red algae aren't locked away in a hard-to-digest form. They're already bound in a plant matrix that your body can absorb quickly and easily. What makes red algae even more valuable is how it works alongside the proteins we've already talked about: whey, casein, and salmon. Protein builds muscle fibers, but without strong bones and stable joints, those muscles can't work at their full potential. The calcium and magnesium in red algae ensure that the skeletal system is strong enough to support the muscle power you're building, while the potassium helps regulate nerve signals that control muscle movement. Red algae is also surprisingly easy to add to your diet. A small teaspoon stirred into soups, blended into a smoothie, or sprinkled over vegetables delivers its benefits without changing the flavor of your food. Pair it with vitamin C-rich foods like tomatoes or bell peppers, and your body absorbs even more of its minerals. I've seen older patients who were worried about wobbly legs and declining stability start to walk with a smoother, more confident stride within weeks of adding red algae to their daily routine. It's not just because their muscles got stronger. It's because their entire support system, from bones to joints to connective tissue, became more resilient. And here's the key takeaway. When you combine the fast muscle fuel of whey, the slow overnight protection of casein, the anabolic boost of salmon's omega-3s, and the mineral-rich foundation of red algae, you're creating a muscle-preserving strategy that works around the clock. It's a system designed to help you reclaim strength, stability, and independence at any age. But there's one final piece of this puzzle. A daily ritual so simple that it takes less than a minute, yet it supercharges everything we've talked about and can make your muscles respond like they did 20 years ago. If there's one thing I've learned in decades of working with seniors, it's that small daily habits often create the biggest long-term changes. And when it comes to rebuilding muscle, there's a 1-minute ritual I recommend to almost every patient because it works no matter your age, activity level, or starting point. This ritual doesn't replace the foods we've talked about. It amplifies them, making your muscles more responsive to every bite of protein you eat. It starts with hydration, but not just plain water. In the morning before breakfast, mix a glass of room temperature water with a pinch of mineral-rich sea salt and a squeeze of fresh lemon. That's it. This simple drink primes your muscles by restoring electrolytes, waking up your circulation, and improving the delivery of nutrients into your muscle cells. Here's why it works so well. After hours of sleep, your body is mildly dehydrated, and that means slower blood flow to your muscles. Dehydration, even as little as 2%, can cut muscle performance and coordination by up to 30%. The trace minerals in the sea salt help your body hold on to water where it's needed most, while the potassium in lemon juice supports nerve signals that control muscle contraction. When you follow this with a protein-rich breakfast, or your morning whey shake, you're delivering those amino acids into a system that's already primed to use them. Patients who've added this ritual often report that they feel less stiff in the morning, their workouts or walks feel easier, and they have more energy to move throughout the day. Some even notice they recover faster from activity because their muscles are getting the nutrients they need more efficiently. It's one of the simplest changes you can make, but when combined with the fast fuel of whey, the overnight shield of casein, the anabolic boost of salmon, and the mineral strength of red algae, it creates a muscle-building environment in your body that works 24 hours a day. And that's the real secret to regaining your strength after 60. It's not one giant change. It's a series of small, strategic steps that work together. Each one builds on the other until you start to notice your legs feel lighter, your balance feels steadier, and you're moving through your day with the kind of ease you thought you'd left behind years ago. But before you rush to try these strategies, there's something you need to know. Even the most powerful muscle-building foods can fail if you make one common mistake, something most seniors are doing every day without realizing it. And it could be quietly undoing all your hard work. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to gain strength quickly, while others struggle for months with little progress, the difference often comes down to one hidden daily habit. It's something so common that most seniors do it without thinking. And yet, it can quietly sabotage muscle growth no matter how much protein you eat or how carefully you time your nutrition. That habit is long, unbroken periods of sitting. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but here's the truth. When you sit for hours at a time, blood flow to your muscles drops, your metabolism slows, and the pathways your body uses to build muscle essentially shut down. Even if you had a protein-rich breakfast, by the afternoon, your muscles are no longer in a growth-friendly state. They're in a storage mode, holding onto fat and letting muscle fibers weaken. Research from the University of Texas found that just 4 hours of sitting can reduce muscle protein synthesis by as much as 30%. That means your body becomes less able to use the protein you ate earlier in the day. And this effect isn't reversed simply by doing a workout later. You need to break up those sedentary stretches before they do the damage. The solution is surprisingly easy. Every 30 to 45 minutes, stand up, walk around, stretch, or do light movements that engage your muscles. Even 2 minutes of activity is enough to restore circulation, reopen those nutrient pathways, and make your muscles ready to absorb and use protein again. I've had patients tell me that after adding these mini breaks into their day, they started to notice more visible results from the exact same diet and exercise routine. This is why I often tell my patients, you can drink the whey, eat the salmon, enjoy the cottage cheese at night, and sprinkle red algae into your meals. But if you spend the rest of the day sitting still, you're putting your muscle-building engine into park. The body responds best to a steady rhythm of movement and fuel. Without that, even the most powerful nutrition plan can fall flat. And it's not just about muscle. Breaking up long sitting periods improves circulation to your brain, supports better balance, and reduces stiffness in your joints. It keeps your whole system in a state of readiness, which means that when you do eat those carefully timed, nutrient-rich meals, your body actually uses them to get stronger. Now you know the power of whey for quick fuel, casein for overnight protection, salmon for anabolic sensitivity, red algae for mineral strength, and the simple rituals that make them work harder for you. You also know how something as harmless as sitting too long can undo days of progress. But here's the twist. There's one more factor that can make or break your results. It's not about food, supplements, or exercise. It's something happening inside your body's own chemistry. Something that changes with age and directly controls how much muscle you can build and how quickly you can lose it. Most seniors don't even know it's happening until it's already cost them years of strength. In my next video, I'm going to reveal exactly what that factor is, how to test it yourself at home, and the simple science-backed way to reset it, so your body starts building muscle again at any age. Once you understand this, everything you've learned today will work even faster.